to Build Like a Boss, the podcast for service-based business owners who want to build, organise and sell their businesses without burning out or waiting for life to calm down first, because let's face it, it never really does. I'm Dani Louise Smith, business strategist and operations consultant, and each week I can't even speak today. I'm sharing no-nonsense strategy to help you grow a business that actually works alongside your real life. Whether you're a coach, consultant, freelancer or service provider, this podcast is your shortcut to clarity, stronger systems and more consistent sales. Around here we focus on building sustainability even when life is unpredictable. No fluff, no hustle culture, just smart strategic action. Let's get into it before I lose my teeth and can't get any more words out. This episode I want to talk about rhythm over routine. And it's interesting because if you'd have asked me 4 years ago, I'd have been like the routine queen, and I still kind of am. I thrive on routine, my brain needs it, I believe my children need it, and I think it's this kind of autistic part of myself that needs it, but then the ADHD means like, nah, we don't want to do that. But it's all fun and games, but it's about recognising what you actually do need and what works for you. And routines are actually rigid, so they depend on everything going to plan. But when you have a life that is unpredictable because of whatever circumstances you're dealing with, so for obviously in my case, I'm neurodivergent, so that ADHD part of my brain is going to play up. My children can be quite unpredictable because they're all neurodivergent. My husband's got physical health conditions that can be predictable. And I have as well now as well. And don't get me wrong, there is things that I can build into a routine that can help our conditions. So things like, for example, pacing myself. My husband definitely needs to pace himself as well, because doing, like, for example, he loves painting and decorating, he loves cooking, he loves gardening, and whilst he physically can do those things, the after effects of that are quite different. So his disability affects him, like, for example, if he cuts our grass and does our garden, like, an hour and a half work if he does both. That can, like, lay him off for 2 days, and that's the difference. And so pacing yourself and looking at how you can tackle, like, people use the spoon theory when they've got disabilities like this, can have a massive impact. So when you've got things like that, you can actually plan, and you can make sure you work things in that help. So for me, like, healthy eating and exercise massively impacts my conditions. When, like, if I eat processed food, I'm going to have inflammation stored in my body, and I'm not going to feel as good, I'm not going to have as much energy, and I'm actually going to manifest physical pain. So those things we are more in control of. But when it comes to routine, they can be too rigid. So, like, for example, in terms of health, you're not always going to eat, the super healthy fruits. Now and again, it's okay to have a pizza or a McDonald's. So that's what I'm talking about. And they actually depend on everything going to plan, because no matter what you do, sometimes when you have a life that means you have a caring responsibility, or neurodivergent children, or you have that, that disability yourself, things don't always go to plan. So instead, I want to get you to think about building rhythms. A rhythm is flexible. It moves with you when life gets messy. And actually, I've been working with a habits and behaviour coach recently, and it's been really, really interesting how one of my own habits that I was massively struggling with when it comes to consistency, I was like, how can I anchor it in? Because I'd already tried this and it just wasn't working for me. So she actually said to me, like, do you eat every day? And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, at the same time, pretty much every day. And it's a non-negotiable. So she's like, well, no matter what time you eat every day, like, it sometimes changes. Can your habits stack this other thing in with it? And I was like, oh my god, yes. And so I found a new rhythm. It wasn't a rigid routine, like I do this action at this set time. Instead, it became a rhythm that's flexible. It does get to move, but it moves with me when life gets messy. And that's what I want you to think about, because the problem with the perfect morning routine that people tell you what to do, because it's going to set you up for day, and other productivity systems as well, they're actually built for people that maybe don't have school runs, don't have caring responsibilities, or unpredictable days within their life. So I want you to actually acknowledge what your capacity looks like and where you're at right now, what's going on for you, and I want you to think about how you can build in a rhythm rather than a routine. Because consistency is not about just doing the same things at the same times every day, because you can absolutely show up differently each day and still build momentum within your business. I'm an example of this. I've done this for years, and I have a rhythm rather than a routine, and I absolutely blooming love it. And the difference between a rhythm that fits your life and a routine is that basically a routine can tend to be borrowed from someone else's life that doesn't fit what yours needs to look like. Whereas a rhythm is about running with your energy, your levels of what you have to commit to, what your capacity looks like, and so that you get into a flow of what works for you. And that's what it's about. Rhythm is about finding a flow with what you tackle within your business, whatever you commit to within your business. And that's the difference. So routine is more rigid, it's like set times. It's like having a rota. It reminds me of like your school timetable that you used to have in your planner that my son now has. Or it reminds me of like your work shift rota. And I do believe that kind of organisation, we do need that level of it. Sometimes, but I also think it needs to be flexible too, in my opinion. And consistency doesn't look like doing the same actions every single day. I think there's nothing worse than that, because we get bored. We can get bored easier. Like, you're only human. So it's about building in a rhythm and a flow that actually works for you instead. So what you need to do first is you need to actually identify your natural working rhythms. So just when you're working, like as you do some work today, I want you to take note and notice where you're feeling. Like, when does your energy peak? What capacity windows do you have, and what are like realistic time blocks? Because then you can build that into your business. You can build your business activity around what's happening instead. And this is exactly what I've done. So for example, a lot of women I work with or have worked with in the past or network with work their business cyclically, because we are beings of cycles, right? So basically for me, I have adapted in that way. I work with my cycle. So I will record content at times where my energy peaks, like now. I'm doing a lot of batch recording content now, but I know at the time of recording this, I will menstruate next week. I'm actually praying that I come on my period early. Bit TMI, but just going to share anyway. I'm actually praying that it comes early, because I want it to then come early next month, because we are on holiday and I do not want it to fall on our holiday. And I know we can get like medication that can delay it and stuff, but I'm not all about that. Like, I came off of that for a reason. So yes, I'm praying and I'm getting connected with my body to bring me that gift early, just not today because I have a photo shoot today. But yeah, I believe in like working with your cycle and recognizing that, because your energy levels are going to be different, not even just that time of the month, but every single week, every single day, based on where your cycle's at. So it's getting into tune with that and identifying your rhythms with that. So you'll be able to see when your energy peaks, when it dips, when you have more capacity physically and mentally, and be able to set those realistic time blocks. So you can actually start building your business activity around that instead. And maybe it's the same with things you're committed to outside of your business that impact your energy within your business. So for example, I am currently at this moment in time recording this episode in June, but it's likely to not come out until, well, currently we've recorded episodes to the end of July, so this will be the end of July. No, maybe even August, maybe even the start of August, which is insane because that's like still 2 months away. But I'm getting so ahead of schedule so that I know my rhythm in summer is going to be all about working less, but being able to still have visibility, still show up and be with my family more. So I've chosen to work 2 days a week over the summer holidays and have 2 of those weeks off completely. And this just works for like, we're off on holiday, so I need it covered for then, and I want to be organised for when we come back from the holiday and when I am working. Also, let's be realistic, I live in the middle of a council estate. In a way, I am going to be recording a podcast because it's too noisy around here when everybody's having barbecues and blaring music and spinning up and down on motorbikes. It is not going to work for me. And I can't just tell like the neighbours not to mow the lawn or let the kids play out, can I? And sometimes it's my kids on the other side of this wall that are playing out in the garden, and I can't tell them to be quiet. You've got to let them go have fun. And so I notice where my capacity is at, and I set realistic expectations of myself. So one of those is getting ahead with the podcast, because I want to commit to this every single week and getting that content out for you as a listener. And if you're here, I'm grateful. Thank you. And so I build my business activity around what's about to come up. So in that level, I can build a routine, I can be organised, I can do more now to free up more time in future. And that's what like recognising where your capacity is and what windows you have for that now or what's coming up is really important. But I can still do it with flexibility. And then rhythm in your sales activity. So it doesn't matter if you post at 9 a.m. every day. It really matters that you show up regularly enough that your audience knows that you're there, that you've been seen. But when it comes to sales, right, that is marketing. Showing up, posting is marketing. I say this all the time. So what you want to recognise is how you're actually backing your marketing up by sales and where the rhythm lies with that as well. And I think this is something, a gap I see a lot of the time, and it's a gap I've had to fill for myself as well, is actually fitting in that sales activity into your business as a non-negotiable and finding your rhythm with that. So in terms of like eating every day, that's when I do mine. I've got my daily method of operation, which are my daily tasks to get me visible, to do my marketing and to sell, and I do them now. I don't necessarily do my morning ones when I eat my breakfast, but if it doesn't get done in the morning as planned, when I've done the school run, I tag team that with my lunch like break, and then I'll just catch up on like DMs and emails at the end of the day on a working day, and then I can put that down at the end of the day and go relax and wind down and watch TV and read and do the things that I like to do. Fridays it's movie nights with the kids, and then I'll switch off for the weekend, most weekends, as a disclaimer, because sometimes if the week has not got up on, I do pick things up on a Saturday. But yeah, so it's about finding that rhythm that absolutely works for me, and you've got to recognise like where you can bring that rhythm in when it comes to your marketing and sales. So I know it's all well and good sharing this, but what do you do when your rhythm gets disrupted? Because it will. And it's about resetting without completely starting from scratch. And this is where the magic lies, and this is the juicy bit that I work with, and this is where it makes a difference and where the sustainability comes in for me and with clients and what I work on. So I truly believe the systems that you have in place, maybe having processes or templates or something in place for you that you can just pick up where you left off, has a massive impact, and this stops you having to start from scratch. So for example, if I was ill and I couldn't get ahead with the podcasts, well, no, let's say marketing, like I couldn't get ahead with my marketing like I want to, so one of my goals is not only to do the podcast but to make sure my content and my emails are ready so my team can schedule them, and so that I don't have to worry about it over summer, and then I can just show up and do the sales activities on the days that I'm working and some of the behind the scenes work. And so basically, imagine I got ill, and that doesn't happen, like touch wood, I do not want to manifest that, right? But imagine I couldn't be in my business as much because of that. I could still pick it back up without starting from scratch, because the way I have a system in my business means that I've pre-recorded these podcasts which create lots more content from them. I take reels and I repurpose them. I take the content and I transcribe that content into actual physical posts. So I do a lot there that means that I can just repurpose a lot, and I don't have to start from scratch. I don't have to start with a fresh new content plan. I don't have to sit twiddling my thumbs thinking, what am I going to post today? What am I going to do? What am I going to say? What am I selling? Because I already have this bank of content that I can tap into instantly because of the system that I have in place. And I believe that when you have a system in place, this stops your rhythm getting disrupted because you can just easily pick it back up again. So this might look like having pre-written posts that you recycle for each service every 3 months, or it might be little prompts that you have, posts that you've saved, or banking every bit of content that you write is really important to come back to and reuse again because it will be relevant. It might be that you have a checklist of sales activities that you do every single week, and you just pick it back up because you don't have to sit and think, okay, how do I get back into the swing of sales, because you don't know what to do. You know exactly what to do if you've got a checklist you can follow. And I'm not saying it has to be a checklist, because lists might not work for everybody. It's got to be what works for you, but lists, I love a list. And so it's about thinking how you can navigate being able to step back into that action again, because once you do, it becomes familiar. It's like muscle memory. So rather than it about moving your body, it's like your mind, it clicks. It becomes easy to make it a non-negotiable habit again, and you don't have to start from scratch because you've already got your framework there. So how many frameworks and where can you build frameworks into your business so that this gets to happen? And this is what the boss method is built around. So it's about building in those non-negotiables, building a brand, building your structure, so to speak, with rhythm. Remember, want to go rhythm over routine, but building the things that you need to build within your business so that later down the line, when you are making those sales consistently, you can not only sustain bringing in new clients and making more money, but you can also sustain delivering the work that you have and continue making a profit. It's about organising those things that you have in place. So having those templates, having that content plan, having that repeatable content, having that content bank or whatever. I'm just using content because this is one of the most obvious examples I see all of the time that hold people back, but it could be so much more. It could be your sales system, it could be, you know, your link, just even links, like links for the things that you sell. It could be so many things. So it's about having that organisation in place that you know exactly where to find things to be able to access it, which again is a massive problem I see when people do something, they build something, they create something, but then when they go back to it, they struggle to actually navigate it because they've not built it in a way that's organised. That's where organisation comes in. So it's about building, organising, selling. So it's about how you're actually selling the services that you have. So building in those sales activities as a non-negotiable, finding your rhythm with those. And then it's about when you've done all of those three, it's actually sustaining what you've built and what you've created and what you've organised. So that's what the Boss Method approach is all about. It's my unique method, which I teach and which I run the Boss Academy on. And so I'd love you to think about that, because sustainable consistency beats intense bursts of hustle, which actually follow by burnout every single time. So I want you to rethink about how you build rhythm over routine into your business and how you navigate your business in a way that actually fits your life, that actually works for you. So this has been short and sweet this week, but I just really wanted to get this out there, share this with you. It's something I'm really passionate about. It's probably going to be something I talk about a hell of a lot more, because I'm really coming into my own with this now. I've got my own method, the Boss Method. I'm really proud of it, and I'm really coming into my own with my own anecdotes and my own beliefs and the way that I have experienced things, not just myself, but with my clients as well, and the results that they've got and things that have impacted their journey, especially when they've got an unpredictable life because they've got caring responsibilities, disabilities, or they send children, neurodivergent themselves. Whatever it is that's on your plate, you are definitely capable of building, organising, selling your services and sustaining that success that you've created. And I know that this is one of the biggest worries amongst most business owners, is they worry about, what if I achieve this, but because I've got this going on, how am I going to sustain it? You can, and I'm here to help you with exactly that. Don't forget to subscribe. Please leave us some love, like the episode, comment on the episode wherever you're tuning in from. Subscribe, and don't forget to get on the email list as well. There will be a link in the show notes, in the comments description, wherever you're watching from, for you to come and join so that you get notified of a new episode every single time it lands, every Sunday evening, for you to check out and start your week with, and be inspired, be motivated based on what I say. And as always, reach out to me on social media and let me know your thoughts. I'd love for you to share this episode with someone who needs to hear it, or tag me to let me know you've listened to it, or put me a message, because I love messages. And if you've got anything you want me to talk about, pop me a DM, Dani Louise Smith, on most platforms, and I'll be right there to answer. I love getting messages about this podcast. This has been Build Like a Boss, and I'll see you again soon, next time, with another topic that's going to get you thinking about how you build, organise, sell and sustain your success. Bye for now.